We all know that Assetto Corsa is one of the most well-known sim racing games in the market. There was a time when it was my go-to sim and nearly exclusive sim of choice, but for a long time now it has been the sim racing game that I boot up the least. And in the last 6 months I've hardly played it at all. I'm not really sure why I've had this recent disinterest in the sim, but I can only sum it up by saying that it's just gotten a bit stale for me with the lack of developer content and no updates. However, all that has changed in the last few weeks because I started using these two amazing game modifications that I'm going to talk about in today's video. Without the shadow of a doubt, these two mods have transformed Assetto Corsa for me unlike any other modification has changed any game, period. The two items that I'm talking about here are the Assetto Corsa Content Manager and the absolutely brilliant Soul mod. And yes, I know the Content Manager has been around for a while and it's great on its own, but it's the combination of these two working together that brings this old and stale racing title back from the dead for me. Being that the Content Manager has been around for a while, you more than likely already use it, so I'll only touch on it briefly. But the long story short here is, the Content Manager allows you to play and set up races in ways we only dreamed were possible through the standard Assetto Corsa launcher. This is in fact a separate game launcher that allows you to set up your race scenarios, weather scenarios, modification installations, and many more things extremely easily and most importantly very quickly, so we can just get to the racing part, which is what everybody wants to do. With the Content Manager, the possibilities are nearly endless to what you can do with Assetto Corsa. The most important part to take away here is that the Content Manager is a prerequisite to installing the Soul mod. So if you do plan on installing the Soul mod, you need to have the Content Manager first. Now let's get on to the meat and the potatoes here. The Soul mod is a dynamic weather texture mod that changes skies, shadows, and lighting textures to an option of your choice. There are loads of different weather options ranging from clear blue skies to heavy fog conditions. But the best part for me, however, is the addition of realistic night lighting effects, which is something that Assetto Corsa desperately needed to compete with most other sims that have had night racing out of the box. The kicker here though is that the Soul mod didn't just put Assetto Corsa back on the same level of those other sims. It simply put Assetto Corsa on a whole nother level, way beyond anything we have had in a sim yet. It is simply stunning to look at and amazing to drive in. The one question that keeps repeating in my head is, with the Content Manager and the Soul mod, is there really any need for ACC anymore? And for that matter, is there really any need for any other sim? Now technically all this stuff can be had for free, but I highly recommend if you download and use these two mods, please throw the creators a few bucks for a cup of coffee or a beer. These guys painstakingly have taken the time to create something for us that even the developers couldn't get accomplished. To me, that's worth something. Anyways guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video and I highly recommend checking these out if you haven't already. I will leave links to the mods in the description below as well as some great tutorials on how to get them working properly. As always guys, thanks so much for watching and I'll talk to you in the next video.